Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of For Honor Fantasy Hero. I am really enjoy bringing this show to you, really enjoying doing this. What is this show if you've never listened? Well, what we do here is, disclaimer right off the bat, I do not have the inside track to Ubisoft Montreal. I don't talk to anybody. I'm just a small 466 subscriber channel. So what I do, because I love For Honor so much, is I come up with fantasy heroes that I'd like to see added to the game. I kind of give you an overview of what they are, what faction they're fighting for, kind of maybe their history a little bit, how they fit into the universe, and then I tell you what their moveset specifically will be and how they will fit into the fights. So that's what I'm going to do here today. We've already had 2 episodes. We had the Brawler from the Vikings, then we did the Courtier for the Samurai of the Mire. So it is Wu Lin's turn as far as I am concerned, and I don't know how this one isn't in here. And in fairness, I think that the Shaolin is supposed to be the Bruce Lee allegory, in the game of For Honor. That being said, I think that they missed the boat with this weapon. I want this weapon in here, and I want this kind of character in here. So we're going to look at Wu Lin's new character, the Sifu. So what is the Sifu? Sifu is the master of Kung Fu. Yes, I am definitely directly taking this from one of my other favorite games, Sifu. Basically what this character will be is a master of Kung Fu, a master of martial arts, who's kind of come from Wu Lin to test his skills and help his fellow countrymen in the wars at hand. And no better weapon for a Bruce Lee type allegory character than the nunchucks. We haven't seen the nunchucks in the game yet. As far as Chinese weapons go, it is just one of the most popular as far as Kung Fu movies. So I'm kind of surprised it's not already in here. The Shaolin uses the staff, which makes sense. But in this, I feel like this character is definitely going to be using nunchucks, working them all over the place, very Bruce Lee style, but I want him to pepper in hand-to-hand motions as well. So what is the Sifu? How does he fit into the game? So when I look at the Wu Lin faction, I notice a little bit of a lack of some things. The Wu Lin, personally, they don't have anywhere near the numbers the other 3 factions have. The only thing smaller is the Outcast faction, which really isn't a faction unto itself. The Wu Lin faction is supposed to be its own faction, but it only has 5 character classes, I believe. Maybe 6, I don't know, but everybody else has like 7 or 8. So right off the bat, I feel like what is missing from the Wu Lins that the other guys have. And I know, given the fact that a lot of people don't like the Kaioshin, this is going to piss a lot of people off. But they don't have a superior guarder. They don't have anybody with superior block whatsoever. Unless I'm missing something on the Nuxia or the new character, I have not played them very often, but I haven't seen anything that looks like a superior block. So I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments if I am. But there's no hit down, block from all sides, superior block. Much like the Warlord, much like the Conqueror. However, this is why people will get pissed off. This is going to be more like the Kaioshin than anything else. So we're going to have a hybrid because he's going to be smaller. He's going to be faster. He has to with the nunchucks and the fact that he's going to be using a lot of hand-to-hand combat maneuvers. The other thing I kind of want the Sifu to have is kind of like some sweeping attacks. Some attacks that kind of potentially hit more than one attacker if they're close to each other. And I think that's what he's going to be. He's going to be kind of like a hybrid heavy with, I would say, kind of like a Vanguard. Very straightforward fighting style while also having that superior block, superior guard that allows him to kind of like combo out of it. So basically how I want him to feel is I want him to feel like you come out of superior guard into some straightforward but effective mix of combos that really mess an opponent up. But it's still kind of like straightforward. He's not going to be like a big dodge attacker or anything like that. It's going to be much more like countering your opponent's movements coming in. So let's get into it. The nunchucks, obviously he's going to be using the nunchucks, but he's also going to be using his feet. I want to kind of center on that Bruce Lee motif. You can definitely play Sifu as girl or boy, and that's why I've had the pictures done in both. But basically, I wanted to kind of mimic that Bruce Lee feel. Even a tie-in with the Bruce Lee estate would be great, kind of like what Naraka Blade Point has done multiple times with the nunchucks. I think it would be really cool For Honor. What I'd like to see is a lot of big sweeping roundhouse kicks, because that was something Bruce Lee was really known for in his kung fu, especially when he was fighting with the nunchucks. It would be nunchuck, sweeping roundhouse kick, nunchuck, sweeping roundhouse kick. So I'd love to see those sweeping roundhouse kicks kind of factor into his fighting style quite a bit. So the moves, let's get into the moves. So from superior block, here's what I want to do. I want him to be in superior block. If somebody hits that superior block, he can immediately start tapping the X button and the light attack button to basically go into a back forth, kind of swimming the nunchuck back and forth, boom, 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 maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he hits X for a big sweeping roundhouse that hits him, and anybody kind of, I want to be a 45-degree angle from like the point of impact all the way around. So if there's someone right next to you, you also hit them. I also kind of want that maneuver to knock down any opponents you're not targeting, kind of like almost almost like a way to, the idea behind him is I want him to stutter gankers, basically. I want gankers to come in and have a really hard time dealing with the Sifu when you're doubling up on him. So that kick, anybody he hits that isn't his intended target, so whoever he's locked on just gets hit and stunned. Everybody else goes down for a second. Gets an actual knockdown status, which I think will be really cool and effective for gankers. I also think that right out of it, he should have a light attack into X, which allows him to do that roundhouse whenever he needs to do it, which will allow him to kind of like stutter gankers. So just a quick nunchuck slap hit and then into the big roundhouse. And I kind of want that roundhouse to be unblockable. I know that might be a little bit much for what we're looking at here, but I think by the time you hit 4, it's going to be so predictable that I want people to have to parry it or go down, basically. Same with the first 2 attacks. I want it to be fast and quick. And again, I want this to be something that is stopping those gankers from coming at you from side to side. They're going to have to full flank you or kind of like really pick their moments to attack. That's kind of what I want to do. In addition to deal with these gankers, what I'd want to do is when he's in his superior block, which his superior block is going to look similar to the Kaioshin's, he's just going to kind of be doing the nunchucks back and forth, one hand to the other, switch back and forth in the center. When he's doing that superior block and somebody comes at him and hits him, I want him to have a quick X button if he wants, which just like is a side kick right to the chest. It's unblockable, and it pushes the character back more than does damage. Maybe also gives them a quick blind status effect. I want him to be able to use this for a setup to go in for a combo, for a straightforward combo, or I want it to be, again, something where he can, quick change lock on to a ganker, kind of go into that superior, block that attack, give him the kick, send him flying back so that he can go back to dealing with the center person that he is. Again, I want him to have a lot of defenses towards gankers. I think if you look at the Bruce Lee stuff, the Bruce Lee movies, which I have many times, I feel like one of the best parts of those movies is when he's fighting multiple people and he's kind of finding ways to keep the battles one-on-one or one-on-two, and I think that that's what this guy is going to really like excel on, like pushing crowds back, centering on one guy, making sure that gankers pay for ganking him. I mean, we have a lot of ganker character classes, and I want to just really quickly, not to go on a side tangent, say I don't have a problem with ganking. Dominion and Breach, gank away. It's a war. That's what it's there for. But I think that we have a lot of characters that are really good at ganking. We don't have a lot of characters that are super good at stopping the ganks. I think this guy is going to be like anti-ganker all the way. My other big superpower for this guy, his big ability, is quick change combos. And this is going to be really complex to master, probably more than my fingers would be able to do. But basically, like I said, I want him to be all about fighting more than one person. So I want him to be able to, when he initiates a combo, that combo interchangeable with attacking more than one person. And what I mean is, so you go in for a light attack on guy A, then another light attack, you see the ganker coming, you can then really quickly flip, and then hit the next part of the combo, and the next part of the combo attacks the ganker instead of the person you're targeting, and then another quick flip brings it back. I want him to have a couple of combos where this works. So I want this to be like a mechanic of his. And I know what you're thinking. You know, you can kind of do that in For Honor. Honestly, when I'm playing Gladiator, that's my big strategy because I don't have parrying, is I try and get them both in front of me, and I back dodge, stab, poke, back dodge, stab, poke, back dodge, stab, poke, deflect. Hopefully I get revenge, and then I can punish. With this, but even with that, you're not doing a full combo. You're attacking one, then you're restarting the combo on another when you quick switch. With this, you would be actually continuing through the strains of the combo. So, like, if the part 2 of the combo was an unblockable kick, or if part 2 of the combo, or that 1-2 combo of the unblockable roundhouse kick, I think that's perfect. I light hit this guy, but if in between this guy and the second guy, I quick flip, quick switch my lock on, it will do the kick to the other guy, potentially hitting the guy I was looking at and knocking him down, which makes him really, really versatile in 2-on-1 situations. And I also think keeps him straightforward enough to keep him that half vanguard, because you're going to be fighting one-on-one people very straightforward with a lot of mix-ups. I think that he should also be able to combo to different kind of zones, kind of like an assassin with the nunchucks, with just the light attacks, just to be able to switch it up and kind of make things messed up. He's also got some great feints. I think that he should be able to feint cancel any of his kicks so that it looks like he's a roundhouse, and then he can stop, maybe hit him with a heavy, maybe hit him with a couple more lights to open him up for that actual kick. So he would be a lot of fun to play with, and he would be challenging, but he would definitely make gankers kind of pull their hair out, which I think we could all use a little bit more of. And hey, I'm a ganker. I play Glad, and when the time comes, I want to win the match. So if it comes to gank, I gank. It's just that simple. That being said, this guy is going to ruin my life if you've got a good player behind him. And that's it. That's my fantasy hero, the Sifu for the Wu Lin faction. I am really enjoying doing this show. We've got another one coming next week, and this one I am absolutely hammer excited to do. I want to personally say I don't know how it's not already in the game. And yeah, it is going to be for the Outcasts. And then our season finale will be on my faction favorite, my favorite faction, which is the Knights. But yeah, next week we will be doing the Outcasts, and I am super, super excited for this character. But until then, you guys can reach us on Facebook at OldManGamingDH, on Twitter at OldManGaming9. You can join our Discord. The link is in the description below. Influence this and all of our shows from there. Let me know in the comments here or anywhere that you can talk to me what you thought of this video, what you'd like to see in For Honor, and whether or not you'd like this character to be added. And you guys can reach us on, and as long as you guys keep watching and listening, we'll keep making them. We'll see you guys next time.